Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara coming to you live from downtown Flushing, New York, once again with another amazing version of Joe DeChara Presents How to Win at Business. And today I am going to talk about the stress that's going on, all over the place, my mastermind groups. Everything's about stress relief, it seems, COVID-19. So I've come up with, what I believe is a pretty out-of-the-box solution for small business owners, especially new small business owners that, if you started your business in 2020 or even 2019, I can't even imagine the experience that you've gone through. Somebody like me, I've been in this 37 plus years. Not that it's expected or like COVID was normal by any stretch of the imagination, but we've always had disruptions. 2008, I remember Black Monday. I don't know how far back, probably a lot of people weren't even born back then. 9/11, all kinds of business disruptions that created more stress on top of the stress of having a business, which is also on top of the stress of having a life. So that's a lot of stress. So one of the things that I found interesting was the fact that dentists are seeing, like, if you're a dentist, you're very busy now. I know you are, because there are like billions and billions of cracked teeth out there from people, clenching and because they're all stressed out. It's not fun being stressed out, folks. Let's face it. But the reality is, just like business disruptions, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when. So if you've been around a while, it's like, oh, okay, here we go again. Here's another one of those like major shifts or, things that are going to make me have to pivot my business. There's when they came up with electricity, how many people that put out of business? What about cars? If you were in the horse and buggy business and you weren't happy with Henry Ford. So how do we deal with this? By accepting. By accepting the facts and the inevitable sequence of events that happen on a regular basis. So this is my challenge to you. My logical brain thinking, like, why do people stress out about April 15th? When it's on the calendar, okay, every year, there's 365 days, and one of them is April 15th. So why does it elicit fear and stress in the minds of people? Because all you got to do is accept the fact that on April 14th, when you go to sleep and you wake up, it's going to be April 15th. There's nothing that you can do about that. Accept it. just like I've accepted the fact that life is tough. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining. Sometimes I forget that there might be people actually listening. And, if you don't know me, I am a CPA, entrepreneuraholic. Okay, it's all I think about, day in, day out. I admit it. I have a serious issue. It affected my marriage, my whole life. So I'm an entrepreneur, and my logical brain thinks that there is so much unnecessary suffering. So pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So here's what I propose. 4 to 5 CPAs recommend that you do your books before the end of the year. It's simple. So why do people wait until not the last minute, beyond the last minute, to do stuff that is required? Okay, so you're going to have to fill out a tax return. At some point, you could put it off as long as you want. And I've seen people put it off for years until the notices from the IRS get, and then it's a real problem. So you could choose to ignore, you could think that, I'm going to go from April 14th right to April 16th, so April 15th doesn't exist. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the tax deadline for filing your personal income tax returns, unless it's the year 2020 when, all of a sudden April 15th became July 15th and so on. But the bottom line is COVID, no COVID, eventually you still had to file your tax return. So why do people grind their teeth? Why do they wind up at the dentist? When it's simple, folks. As entrepreneurs, as an entrepreneuraholic, I can tell you one of my characteristics is to overcomplicate and overthink everything. And I surround myself with people that remind me that I'm overcomplicating everything. So my mission in life has become to try to make things simple when it comes to stupid things like tax returns and accounting. But I know nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to face it. But the truth is, it's like when I was a little kid. I never wanted to go to sleep at night. And I fought. And if I had been told that, listen, you're going to go to sleep one way or another, why fight it? But I was a kid. We're not kids anymore, folks. We're adults. So here's step 2. In cutting your because the way you cut taxes is not when you go to your tax preparer, not when you cut taxes on a daily basis, by staying on top of things, by looking at it, by knowing where you stand at every given moment. Every time you do a business transaction, your tax situation has changed. Now, if you're worried about taxes, then keep listening. If you don't care about taxes, if you don't care what you pay, then this isn't for you. This is how you got to approach it. It's inevitable. It's part of your business. Instead of denying it, putting it off, what I propose is let's put off procrastination. Let's just put it off until later and start doing some of the simple things. And let me tell you, I know what number 2 is and I'm going to just tell you. Number 2 is make a list of all your accounts. And what I mean by that is, let me take you back to the good old days when I first started in accounting, when we actually had to, use a pencil. We used a number 2 pencil, and then we got fancy with lead pencils and stuff. But we would actually have to, write stuff and keep track of it. And it all came out of usually one checkbook. It was simple. We took the checkbook, we listed all the transactions, and that was the business. There were no ATM cards, there were no credit cards. Eventually, people started using Amex a lot, but that was later. So usually a small business only had one account that they transacted their business through. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, because StreamYard doesn't let me see this, but I am ranting a little because for me, it's simple. I'm an accountant. This is what I do. It's probably not that simple, and for a new business, especially entrepreneurs. Again, I understand the last thing you want to do is start calculating stuff. But here's the thing, folks. So in the beginning of time, we had one checkbook. It was simple. Fast forward to the year 2020 with all kinds of gizmos to do business. We got PayPal. We got cryptocurrency. And so people are getting paid with Stripe and PayPal, and they're still getting credit cards, and sometimes people still get checks. Oh my God. So you got all these different sources of accounts so now it's not just one checkbook. We have all these different places where our business is being done. So here's step 2. It's very simple. Just make a list. Where are you doing business? PayPal, my bank account. How many bank accounts? Okay. Once you have your list of every possible way that you transact business, if it's your credit card, you list them, because now those are the sources for somebody like me to do your bookkeeping. One of the challenges that accountants have, bookkeepers have, are these multiple methods of payments. And if you're going to go to your accountant or try to do this at the end of the year, you will miss something. And you cut your taxes by being on top of it. If you're missing stuff in the middle, you're going to the dentist because that's what's causing the stress. It's the fear that is worse than whatever it is. Okay. It's just like with the virus. More people got sick worrying about the virus than actually get the virus, if that makes sense. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. I hope this made sense to you. Just trying to give you some out of the box ideas on how to run your business better, how to win at business. This is what we do. This is what winners do. You know, Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest winners of all times. So winning is a habit. Winning is done on a daily basis, not one time a year. So again, Joe DeChara, CPA, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. God bless. And I will probably see you in a couple of hours again with another rant. Thank you.